Right, awesome. Hello, London. I love London. Come here a lot, originally Belgian. I'm a core contributor of Arkadiko, which is a over-collateralized stablecoin on Stacks. So we take in collateral, and you can mint a stablecoin called USDA against that. We've been on mainnet for about 2 years, and it's been a tough bear market. I'm going to talk about DeFi, what's next on Stacks, the Nakamoto fork, and whatnot. So 2022 has been really tough. I think everyone knows that. And if this is your first cycle and you're still here, congrats. Glad that you're here. If this is your second cycle, obviously also congrats. Maybe if it's your third cycle, you might need to see a doctor. I don't know, it's a mental illness. But the point is that DeFi has burned. We've suffered. It's been tough. You've all seen the headlines, right? I don't need to go through them in detail. The SBF trial is happening as we speak. Voyager went down. Celsius is BlockFi's of the world. It sucks. So generally, I think in DeFi, there's a lack of transparency. Not only that, but we keep relying on third-party custodians. Not great, not great. And so I think the message here today, if I want to tell you guys one thing, it's that DeFi has been stable. Of course, there's hacks, there's smart contracts that fail. Honestly, shit hits the fan every now and then in DeFi. But the point is, it is transparent. It's predictable, and as long as the smart contracts do work and you don't get hacked, it's been pretty stable. Look at the lending markets. All the liquidity is still there. So there is a sort of renewed enthusiasm within DeFi, within lending, and the vision of how can we build this ecosystem also around Bitcoin and Bitcoin layer 2s. I think that's the good news. There's more good news, but the opportunity is that we're not there on Stacks yet. So DeFi on Stacks is still a nascent industry. You have the Arkadikos, the Alexes of the world. There's amazing stuff being built, but we still need to, in my opinion, demonstrate product market fit. And so product market fit, what is product market fit, first of all? There's a lot of definitions. I have a SaaS background, and when we talk about product market fit in SaaS, we say we can scale reliably, add another customer, with clear customer acquisition costs. But for blockchains and in DeFi, arguably that's a lot harder, right? What does that mean, product market fit? Does it mean that your product is used a lot? Does it mean that you're profitable? Does that mean you're getting rich? There's all sorts of definitions. I don't have that definition for you today. But what I do have is a way how we can get there, and perhaps how we can incentivize unique SBTC use cases. Because as you probably know, the Nakamoto fork is coming up sometime next year, March, April, around that time. And SBTC, which is a trust-minimized peg-in on Stacks for Bitcoin, the purists might want to argue with me here today, but I think that's a pretty fair definition. And so what are some of those unique SBTC use cases that we can build on? I think the first one that is very unique, in my opinion, is it gives you a straight interface with BTC the asset. So as an example, Zest, Tycho, who is the founder of Zest, he's here today as well. They do on-chain BTC loans. And what they do very novel, in my opinion, is they do interface with BTC. And so they can abstract away SBTC. Is that good? I think it is good. Is that bad? That depends on your definition of good and bad, obviously. But what is really nice for the end user is the SBTC is abstracted away, and you interface with your Bitcoin wallet, say a Ledger or an Xverse. You can use Zest straight away. They're not on mainnet yet, but they will be soon. And so if you can demonstrate that the user simply can use BTC and abstract away SBTC, then it looks like a native experience. Of course, we still have to take those security considerations for SBTC into account, but the UX improvement that we can see from doing that can be enormous. It can be huge. Second, I think I would say pay attention to Tron. This might sound a bit weird. Tron is a layer 1 blockchain. It's an EVM-compatible chain. And so Tron has nothing to do with BTC. But what is unique about Tron is that it settles the highest amount of stablecoin dollars all throughout the crypto ecosystem. And why is that? Because it's a relatively fast chain with cheap transaction fees. And it offers you great settlement, maybe not forever, but if you want to transfer between centralized exchanges, or maybe you want to pay something, or you need some access to USDC or USDT, often if you go to your Kraken, your Coinbase, your Binance account, often they use Tron as a transport layer. And so there's a lot of stablecoin settlement happening on Tron. Why do I say pay attention to Tron? Kind of funny, but I think there is a way to dominate the centralized exchange rails to transfer BTC. So think of your regular exchange, again, like a Kraken, let's say. If you want to withdraw BTC or you want to transfer BTC, that's not always cheap and certainly not fast. Block space is limited, of course, on Bitcoin. We've seen the ordinals hype earlier before. Gas fees, they can spike. But if we can reliably introduce a transfer rail for BTC or a BTC-like asset, such as SBTC, that becomes a dominant use case, or it can potentially. And so for me, that's a big value add. Imagine now tomorrow Coinbase needs to send BTC to like a Kraken. They can just leverage SBTC underlyingly, and you have the same asset, right? You can still go back and forth between BTC and SBTC. That relies on deep liquidity, of course, but the promise is there. And so that's why I talked about Tron. The only reason, in my humble opinion, the only reason for Tron existing today is really that stablecoin settlement. We can do the same for SBTC and BTC on stacks. Super novel, I believe Manip has talked about it a few times. Is it a DeFi use case? Of course it's not a DeFi use case, but you got to start somewhere. And so this could be a gateway into DeFi for a lot of users. They learn about SBTC, the exchanges start loving SBTC, it creates deeper liquidity, and hence we can push those users into using SBTC. So it's all, in my opinion, about abstracting away BTC and using SBTC underlyingly. Another one that I want to mention, though, is understanding the constraints. So today is really about talking to developers. And I don't know, maybe a raise of hands. Who here is a developer or technical profile? I see quite a few. And so I do want to give a specific message to you. I'm also a developer, and I believe we should look further into the constraints of certain chains and what they uniquely give us as developers. I hope this triggers someone, because this next slide, I don't have anything against Uniswap or against Ethereum or against AMMs. But so this research comes from Kyle Samani, who is a managing partner at Multicoin Capital. And so they analyzed 57,000 data points over a time span of 1 month. And they compared Uniswap, which is your constant function AMM, the x times y equals k, the AMM that we all know and use, probably on like stacks. You have Alex, you have Uniswap, SushiSwap, whatever it is, that they are AMMs, and they have certain constraints. And so Phoenix is what we call a CLOB, a central limit order book. And so that's the usual thing that you see on exchanges, right? You place a bid or an ask, and you can get filled. But Phoenix, in this case, it's a Solana protocol, and they're both on-chain. So Uniswap is on-chain and Phoenix is on-chain. What is important for you if you go into a trade? You're the taker of a trade. You want limited spread, right? You want the best price possible. A maker, they want to be profitable. And so the analysis that came out of here is that Phoenix offers tighter spreads 93% of the time. So Uniswap is not as efficient as a traditional CLOB. And so my message to you today is not, we all need to switch from AMMs to CLOBs. That's not really the message or the point that I want to make. I just want to make the point of, think of the constraints of your blockchain. I'm not saying stacks can handle all the CLOBs today either, But maybe there is something unique about SBTC that we cannot do on other chains. And the use case is clear there. Again, it's a trust minimized version of BTC that we can leverage in that way. One more thing, and I think Luis of Ryder, he spoke about this earlier. I don't think we have product market fit or the product market fit that we deserve as an ecosystem. And usually all our use cases revolve around speculation. The Bored Ape that costs $500,000 or your CryptoPunk or whatever. But if you're a developer, I want to give you one message, and that is forget speculation. Let's all rally around a use case that does not involve speculation. Yesterday, I was at a dinner, and I spoke to Daniel of IOV Labs, and he's the CEO of IOV Labs, and he is working with or on Rootstock, and they have a lot of remittances. So remittance means that you do overseas payments a lot. So say like someone from Mexico wants to send money to the US or the other way around. And so that is a real use case where we're helping people. Maybe we can build SBTC rails or use SBTC to transfer remittances or to do payments or whatever it is, right? But I think as a developer, we should stop just focusing on speculation and think more, okay, how do we add value to the user? And I'm also a Western boy. For us, that's often hard to see the value in remittance and all those things. But there is clearly something there in terms of money transfer throughout the world. And so speculation is a no-go, I think, if we want to get mainstream adoption. Last but not least, I think when you're a developer, think of your chain's product market fit. And what does that mean really for Stacks? Does Stacks as an ecosystem, as a blockchain, have product market fit today? I think as we get closer to the Nakamoto release, we have faster settlement times, we have the SBTC, then it becomes really easy for a developer to build unique stuff. And that draws us towards product market fit as a chain. But not only do we need product market fit as a chain, on top of that, we need to build apps that have product market fit. So we have kind of this double problem almost that we need to solve as a whole, as an ecosystem. The third thing is, once we have chain product market fit and app product market fit, the liquidity needs to come in. And me running a stablecoin protocol, I've talked a lot about liquidity, and it's very tough in the end to draw in that liquidity. But liquidity will come bit by bit over time. Again, if you have a novel use case, or if there's money to be made. And unfortunately, I said, let's forget speculation. So I think we need to keep focusing on that liquidity. So my main message today is be unique and delight your users. Don't be a copycat. I think I speak for everyone if I say there's enough AMMs today, like on Stacks, to use that same example again. Think, what is the unique use case that I want to enable for my users, and go from there. And so the only thing that matters, in my opinion, today are developers. We need to attract more developers to the chain. If you know Steve Ballmer, for instance, the famous Microsoft presentation, I think early 2000s, late 90s, maybe, where it goes like developers, developers, developers. I don't know if you've seen that. If not, you have to YouTube it. I love the guy's energy, but building an ecosystem that is technical is all around developers. We need to improve the developer, the developer experience, the developer access. And I think if you were here again today earlier, you saw Kenny from the Stacks Foundation give a great demo, which made it a lot easier for us to build SBTC solutions through JavaScript. So if you're a developer, I'm here. I would love to talk to you too, see how we can make your life easier on Stacks, and just work together. So I think rallying cry is let's make 2024 the year of DeFi on Stacks. Again, I'm here to help, and I would love for more protocols to launch on Stacks. This is the protocol that I'm running. We have 3 products. Our main one is self-repaying loans. So basically, you collateralize your Stacks tokens, mint our stablecoin USDA, and use it for various on-chain activities. This is a borrowing application. I think it's very useful because it allows for people to not sell their Stacks tokens or their Bitcoin or whatever and borrow against it, which is one of the main use cases that I've seen for Bitcoin. But we do have two more products, which is our Keepers product, which helps you automate smart contract actions, and then the DLCs, which are native Bitcoin-backed loans. So if you want to learn more about this, go to arkadiko.finance. And I just want to say, yeah, let's hack together. There's my email. Contact me. Happy to work together. And yeah, let's take it from there. Cheers. If you have a question, I'm still here. I have 4 more minutes, but I think you have.
Sorry, so what's the best use case of DeFi on Stacks? So what would you see on Ethereum? What do you feel the best application you can build with generative AI with DeFi
On Stacks? I think Andre, who's here today as well, he said something really interesting, I thought, which is lending borrowing. So ultimately, BTC is such a good asset, and no one wants to sell their BTC. And so we need to build deeper liquidity to borrow against BTC, whether that's in the form of a stablecoin or you want to borrow USDC or USDT, which is still not possible today on Stacks. You cannot use your SBTC and then borrow USDC or USDT against that. I think that's a huge use case. Maybe you're more into remittance, but I think when you ask what is the best thing to build, my go-to answer is always, what do you want to see? Because I don't think the saying, let's make something people want, is necessarily true. I think you should think, let's make something that you want. And that's my, my main view. If I don't use it, I don't know what the value prop is. So I'm always going to build a product that I want. And for me, that's lending borrowing. I don't know what that's for you, but yeah, I hope that, that answers the question, but I'm happy to chat more on this. Cool. Well, thanks a lot. Cheers.